In 2007, the Redwood Forest Foundation acquired 50,000 acres of depleted forest land, the Usal Redwood Forest, which lies in Mendocino County in Northern California. Logging over the last 60 years was done by tractors pulling tree trunks down skid roads and along waterways. These pictures from the late 70s show how extensive this was. Although today the forest is full of young trees, old primitive bridges have been pouring sediment into streams, clogging rivers, and hindering the passage of fish for decades.
We were looking at a CMP, a corrugated metal pipe. It was placed on a pretty steep angle on top of an old Humboldt crossing, and an old Humboldt crossing is a crossing that was built by putting in logs like this one I'm standing on, across, up and down the stream, bundling them up, and then just push some dirt over them for a road. So when they first operated in here, they had a Humboldt crossing, and they came back in, they just put a culvert on top of the crossing. So it's about from the other side of that roadbed down about 50 feet to where the outlet, where the actual stream bed is. And that outlet is a shotgun over that stream bed.
With the downturn in the economy and lumber prices at historic lows, REFI has been concentrating its efforts on forest and watershed restoration projects to repair the effects of damages accumulated under past ownership. In July 2009, Pacific Watershed Associates, together with members from the Redwood Forest Foundation and Campbell Timberland Management, conducted a survey with a group of representatives from California Department of Fish and Game, National Marine Fisheries Service, and Trout Unlimited to decide where to devote their limited restoration funding.
So there's a whole series of stream crossings along here where we have had have significant sediment just hemorrhaging on a yearly basis into the watershed here.
In August 2009, restoration work began on one such crossing on the South Fork tributary to Standley Creek, whose waters flow into the South Fork of the Eel River and eventually into the Pacific Ocean.
The first thing we're going to do here is we're going to lower the bulk of the crossing that exists at the road stream crossing intersection. If one was to go upstream to the top of the excavation, you would actually see that the stream is flowing above ground, and then it sinks into this stored material that's backfilled behind the crossing here. So that's probably the most important aspect of actually removing this crossing, is that we are going to be providing access as far as spawning and refuge habitat to probably Chinook, steelhead, and coho salmon for up to half a mile upstream of this crossing right here. The sinkhole that developed on the road fill material that's sitting on top of the old log spanner Humboldt. The gaps you see in the bottom down there are where logs have rotted out and collapsed and no longer supported the fill. And that's why this thing looks like a giant lion ant trap.
To get to the loose soil below and excavate down to the original stream bed, the vegetation on top, including redwood trees, must first be removed. This soil would otherwise continue to leach into the stream for years to come.
Well, I've been doing this since I was about 19, I guess, for payroll, highway construction, and then I started in the logging, building logging roads for Schuster's probably 16 years now, doing the roads out here. I was raised in Laytonville and been around here all but about 4 years, being in the military and then getting out and doing road construction. The rest of the time it's all been around this area.
If we didn't have this PWA work, I don't know what we'd be doing right now. Most of our logging crew is off. Today was their last day, so they're not logging right now. They don't have a harvest plan to go to, so they're going to be off.
We're hoping that they like our work well enough they keep us busy through the years, because logging is getting pretty thin, so we're going to have something to fall back on to keep us busy in the years to come.
And not only that, but we're doing something good too.
Yeah.
Getting that sediment out. I'm a fisherman. I used to steelhead fish all the time, and I noticed that the runs are just not what they used to be, not even close to what they used to be.
Over 7,000 cubic yards of dirt and debris needed to be removed from this crossing. The dirt is taken to a site nearby where it is compacted and will pose no threat to fish-bearing streams.
There's no need for the road anymore, because in the old times, you used to bring all your timber down and extracting out the bottom of the water courses, but nowadays everything is brought up to the top via yarders or helicopters, so there's no need to have water or roads down in the bottom of the drainages.
This is different than most Humboldts, it appears, because the logs are running across the channel instead of parallel to it. Two stages of them, but this is a pretty good size one. Little lethargic Pacific giant salamander. This had to have a sill logs on both sides, so it's sort of a very, very low stringer bridge. A lot of fill. The fill was pushed when they made the road cuts from either side. This is the finished product of Clark Gulch, a tributary of Standley Creek, which is also a tributary of the South Fork of the Eel. You can see where we have logs towed into the channel, and we're hoping that the channel will meander around and create a natural channel and eliminate the blockage that this was for anadromous fisheries. Usal Redwood Forest has the most important tributaries to the South Fork of the Eel, the most important anadromous branch of the eel. The middle fork is too hot, and the main fork also doesn't have the anadromy that the South Fork of the Eel does. That was why we chose Standley Creek as our beginning restoration project. Our main objective here is to totally eliminate the connectivity between the road system and the watercourse system. We're trying to get this back as close as we can to the natural grade by adding some natural logs and other woody debris to give it the complexity that a natural channel would have. We'll be monitoring it for at least 5 or 10 years. In fact, it will be monitored, I would say, from now on until it's totally natural, however long that takes.